Today, our story takes place in Connecticut Colony in 1754 in the town of Windham, which is the hometown of my recent guest, Horace Smith. It was summer, either June or July, and the French and Indian War had just broken out, and there was heightened anxiety about attacks from the Wabanaki or Algonquin people. On this night, the townspeople of Windham were awakened by a strange and cacophonous noise. Many believed it to be the sound of war drums from an approaching enemy. Some accounts state that the names Dyer and Elderkin, who were two of the village's lawyers and colonels, were heard. Some thought that these were demands or threats against prominent members of the community. Others just thought it was Armageddon. An armed scouting party was sent out to identify what this threat was. The brave scouting party followed the sound east. After climbing a hill, they reached a mill pond called Follett's Pond, where they found the source of the noise. But what they found was not an approaching enemy. It was bullfrogs. By some accounts, it was hundreds, if not thousands, and many, many corpses were found the next day. According to some accounts, there had been a severe drought that summer, which had drastically reduced the water level in the mill pond, which may have led to this incident. Herpetologist Susan Z. Herrick, who grew up in Windham, has speculated that the bullfrogs were making advertisement calls. The bullfrogs were being pushed together as they lost physical territory, so they may have shifted their mating strategy and began lekking, which is a competitive display of courtship behaviors, in a situation that Herrick compared to a mosh pit. With so many males in the small pond, Herrick speculates that, quote, all the males gave up on having any territory at all and focused strictly on at least getting a female. With no coordination of calls, it must have been a god-awful noise, and I think this is what the villagers heard. The story quickly spread to other villages and then other colonies, and the tale followed one of the lawyers, Dyer, whose name the townspeople thought they had heard throughout his career. Once, when he arrived at the Second Continental Congress, he was greeted with laughter because a dead bullfrog had been dangling from the back of his carriage. In the year 2000, a bridge was completed called the Thread City Crossing, but anyone from the area will tell you it's called the Frog Bridge. The bridge has these 11-foot copper frogs sitting on top of concrete spools. The frogs were designed by artist Leo Jensen and not only pay homage to the Battle of the Frogs, but one of Willimantic's biggest mills, the American Thread Company. The frogs are named Manny, Willie, Windy, and Swifty, but they could not be reached for comment.